or anything.
We're live now.
Okay. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Picked Off Show. We are a little light today, but you know what? We thank you guys for coming in and hang out with us to talk about, games. You got your occasional line, you got some little sub stories, but I'm really happy to be here. You got me, Joseph, JJ, your host, actually co-host tonight because my right-hand man, Mr. J, Denzel, Morgan, Samuel, Will, Jamie, Snipes.
Every black actor from like the '80s on, man.
We could have did Forrest, Chadwick, Yaya, all of them, but he's all wrapped in one because he's just a phenomenal guy, Mr. J Nelson. How are we doing today?
We're doing pretty good, man. It's really great we could get today's episode off the ground. Before we begin, just want to remind everybody to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, Sideline Sports. Also follow my YouTube channel, Denzel Snipes 13, and also the brother James Tatum at James Tatum 12 on YouTube. And also follow my Twitch at Denzel Sniper 13 and my Facebook as well. You can find me Denzel Snipes. Also find Gauntlet Sports Media on Facebook and follow us on that as well. All right, partner, you ready to get started?
I am, and I have a question. Are we streaming? I want everybody active involved, but haven't seen anybody, so I hope that they're watching.
Yeah. It's fine. They should, come in whenever they
So
do.
it's on the Philly Jim's web on his YouTube right
It's
now.
on his too. Yep.
All right. So with that being said, we'll start with game one, which will be this Thursday night. You have the New Orleans Saints against the Los Angeles Rams. Both teams, as highlighted, need a win to keep their playoff wins hopes alive. It may be a little bit easier for New Orleans because their whole entire division is trash and they want to try to get a chance to still have a chance to steal some games. But the Rams really have a lot going on that they need to get done, and they need to win this game to keep pace because in their own division, their one playoff berth is already set, and the second one is have somebody that's tied with a little bit ahead of them, and that is the Seattle Seahawks. So, Jay, I ask you, and shout out to Bacon Grizz. What's up, buddy? Loyal fan of the Gauntlet and everything that we do. We appreciate you. So, Jay, who do you have and why?
Well, one thing to say about the Los Angeles Rams, and this is living proof that even though he's about 35, 36 years old, we all know what a healthy Matt Stafford is. Need to remind everybody that the Los Angeles Rams have won 4 of their last 5 games, their lone loss being a 6-point overtime loss to your Ravens, which was an awesome game. You got to hand it to them. And then they're going to they're hosting a Saints team that is fighting for playoff positioning. Or, I mean, let's face it, it's the NFC South. Okay, either you're going to win a division or you're going home. The Saints, they are going to need to keep up with the Buccaneers. The Falcons are a little bit behind, and then the Panthers is just a totally different story.
Yep.
Uh, in this one, I'm going to go ahead and take the team with the better quarterback, and that is Matt Stafford. The Rams, I believe they currently hold the 7th seed in the NFC, and they're looking to keep it going. The NFC West looking to send 3 teams to the postseason this year. Give me the Rams 24-20. I think Kamara might actually have a semi big game, but it won't be enough at the end. Rams 24-20.
It's funny you mentioned because earlier in the part you said either you win the AFC, NFC South and go home, or you just go home. And perfectly, you could win NFC South and you still gonna go home. Just as what the way it is. But at the end of the day, I think the Rams got this because I think the Rams are a better team. I think they have a better group. It's funny because in all offseason, we were talking about how running backs are devalued, they're not getting paid or anything. But yet, in the thick of the playoff race, the best teams that have their quarterbacks looking the best rely also on their run game with their running backs. And that's
Absolutely.
ever more true with Kyron Williams and the Matthew Stafford led Los Angeles Rams. The Saints' run defense is up and down. They did look good last week against Saquon,
I think
but
they
the
currently
Saquon,
rank 6th in the league right now.
what
I
their run
believe
defense?
so. Let me double check real quick because if I'm not mistaken, I think their rush defense, or it might be. I hope. I had the right team here. Hang on one second. They're
Doot, doot,
playing the
doot, doot.
Saints. Okay, but yeah, it's hard to run on the Saints. Go ahead.
But the thing is, if you look at their track log and you break it down with the running backs, their average yards per carry has been over 3.5 for the most part.
Hmm.
So Kyron Williams is averaging close to almost to 5 yards a carry, if I last remembered.
This is really good.
So if you can rely on him, and I'll give them that, if they wanted, if there's one thing that they can take away from their loss against the Ravens is that they abandoned a game plan that was killing the Ravens, which was running the football. I don't think that problem's going to happen now, and I think they also have more talented offensive group to help Matthew Stafford, Puka Nakua, Cooper Cup, and I got them winning. I got them covering. And I will say I'm taking Kyron Williams fantasy score or rush yards and receiving yards or touchdown in this game as a prop.
All right. And so we'll go on to our next game, and that is game one of the Saturday Bang Out on well, no, that's the 23rd. On Christmas weekend. And the Bengals are 2.5 point road faves at Steelers. Jake Browning has emerged as one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league as of late, and he's headed to Steeler Nation for a rivalry game for a struggling offense that has somehow made the bottom five offenses, but they're somehow 7-7. They're like the worst 500 team that I think anyone's seen in a long, very long time. The defense is still there. That right there is, but I got to tell you, JJ, it's only so much that defense can do because did you know the Steelers went up 13-0 last week and then
I did.
proceeded to give up 30 straight points? But see, that's what happens when the offense can't do anything. This is undoubtedly the worst Steelers offense I had ever seen in my lifetime. In my life, not even the Bubby Brister led Steelers were like that bad. In fact, they were really decent, you know. But this, yeah, shed some light on this, man. Who you got?
So this is a very, very interesting game. And I think that I was wrong about Pittsburgh last week because I thought, and I was sitting there saying they respond well to a bad loss or two bad losses. And then they kind of wet the bed this time. I think the Bengals are feeling confident in themselves. I think the Bengals are starting to think, hey, we don't know what's going to happen here, but what we do know is we're playing well and we're winning football games. And we went from a team that was down the dumps, where we on this show all said their season was over. We thought it was done. And for a minute, it did look that way, but they're turning it around.
We even went through the Bengals like last like seven, like 8 games,
We
and they
did.
had a tough finish.
And here
They,
they are.
and here they are, exactly.
And it's a huge credit for Zach Taylor and them because their game plan, if you watch each game, has changed. And a big reason why I have them winning this game, Joe Mixon.
Joe
I think
Mixon.
he's become a difference maker. They have been able to run the football, which he may say it's not because there's no Joe Burrow, but we kind of know what it is. But I also think, hey, if you see this happening without Joe Burrow, imagine what you do when you have Joe Burrow running the football, setting it up that way. I got them winning this game. I think Pittsburgh is at a serious crossroad, and I think that things are going to start being in motion if they lose this game, which is what I think they will. I will say I like Joe Mixon's fantasy score. Pittsburgh has been up and down, but if you get into the red zone, you have a chance to kind of score on them with your run game. So I like his fantasy score in this one, and of course I will take them to cover because I think they'll win by a field goal.
Okay. All right, and so yeah, I'll go ahead and take the Bengals in this one. Again, it's a pitiful offense. It's hella questions at quarterback play. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Mason Rudolph is actually getting the call this weekend.
Mason Rudolph. Oh my God.
Mason Rudolph is getting the call this Sunday. So that's three starting quarterbacks, and they're 7-7. And with like I said, like their bottom five offense, it's like how did they even get to 7-7 in the first place? But yeah, I'll take the Bengals in this one. I got them by more than a field goal because I mean, like, if the Colts did them that dirty, like I mean, and the Bengals beat the Colts, so I'm
Yeah.
going to take them by 10. I'm taking them at least by 10. I'm going to
So
say 23-13 Bengals.
We all one thing for sure, we agree and we know it. Shout out to Bacon Grizz who's up in here. He actually got the Steelers for an odd reason.
Oh man.
Well, you
Hey,
know
if the
what?
Steelers win, Bacon man, you better talk your ish come Friday.
And Bacon, if you sitting around, do your own lone wolf because you are the lone wolf in this one today. So go ahead
Yes.
and do that.
So we
Ooh,
gonna
go
go ahead and
ahead.
we gonna lone wolf the boy. We gonna lone wolf the boy Bacon Grizz. Please put a howl
Ah!
in the comments. Cause my man's got the Steel City to beat them Bengals. But we'll go ahead and roll on to our next game.
We're not
And
going to. Okay, I got you. Sorry.
um, no problem. So it's this is the second one of the doubleheader on Saturday. So the Bills are, oh man, here we go. Because I already you got that look on your face, JJ. Bills are 12-point road favorites at Chargers. So after completely dismantling the Cowboys this past weekend, now one thing you got to know about the Bills is they are still in the division race. When midseason people said, "Man, the Bills ain't even gonna make it to the playoffs," looking how they looking, and here they are, and they actually have a shot at winning division because they have at Chargers this weekend. Next weekend, they got the Patriots at home. Meanwhile, the Dolphins have the Cowboys, and which we'll get to here in a little bit, and they got your Ravens at Ravens. So
Hmm.
week 18 may very well come down to the division. But nonetheless, this is a game that the Bills definitely need. Your thoughts on this game and who you got?
So, these double digit spreads. Good Lord. My gosh. Honestly, I have the Bills, but I will say this. I am so on the fence about this, this line because I want to know what this Bills team is made of. I want to know if this team plays the same game plan they did against the Cowboys with this one, I'm taking that spread all day because you're going to run the football down their throats. James Cook is a huge shout out to Tyler. Okay, so you know the records. Yep, Tyler roughed it up. I'm going to I need to know if this team, if they're going to stay with this formula because this formula has a chance to really be dynamic for them, or are they going to see this Chargers team and see them down and out and think, oh, okay, we'll get back to Josh Allen being Josh Allen. The game plan says to stick with what you got because you can run it down their throats with James Cook and on their running backfield and then help Josh Allen as well. But I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna take this spread because I think that they have learned their lesson. I think they do see the vision and sights, and I think Sean McDermott. I hope you realize what you should have realized a while ago. Running the football helps you. Running the football makes your quarterback look great, which is what you've always wanted.
Yeah.
I think more of the same this time. I will say if there's ever a reason why I feel like they won't cover is because this is the first game after the bad energy has seemed to left the room in terms of
Mhm.
Brandon Staley. So typically these guys seem like they can relax a little bit more. You really don't know what you're going to get from them now that he is gone. You don't know what type of teams they're going to expect.
The first game after old boy was fired, Antonio Pierce on the Raiders. Yeah, I feel you.
Exactly. So that is why it's making me worried about this. It's like, okay, if you're going to play them tough, I get that. But if Buffalo stays to what they did against Dallas, it wouldn't matter. It would still be a good game, but they probably
Mhm.
lose by like two scores, like 14 points. I'm going to go Bills. I'm going to take them to cover.
All right, and one thing. Okay, so is it fair to say that Josh Allen is a top five quarterback in this league?
Yes, I don't think it's
Okay,
a. I don't think he's. I don't. I think every quarter. If you're gonna accept Brett Favre for who he was, Brett Favre was doing the same exact thing when he was still busting it out.
right,
Like,
right, right. But we're not even going that far. We're not even going that far. But you agree that he's a top five quarterback in the league.
mhm.
So if anyone outside of last week, outside of who they played or whatever, if someone told you with the amount of numbers that Josh Allen puts up, if someone told you that in a game Josh Allen only had 94 yards passing, would you say the Bills won or lost that game?
Would have got their butt smacked, or he'd have got hurt.
Yeah, they did the smacking. That is how important that is the Bills' run game. Allen threw for under 300, under
Nine
100.
passes total.
Yes, under 100 yards, 9 passes total, and they smacked the Cowboys because James Cook cooked. So, yeah, go
Which
ahead and bring in the next game. Oh, I'm sorry, you was going to say something?
no, no. I was about to say we slicing it up to the next one. That's my right hand man. Jay is a beautiful, great person, amazing. Browns at Texans. And so I will tell you this, and I'm Tyler. You can let Cliff know about this because I'm putting this on him. You are a good team, but nobody's afraid of you. Okay? Let's get that out the way. And he will say, I love Cliff to death, and I want him to hear this so he can see it from my mind. But we got the Texans versus the actual Cleveland Browns. Cleveland with Joe Flacco went through 3 interceptions last week, but still
Mhm.
found a way to win the game
Because they
and
were
lead
playing the
themselves to
Bears.
be at a 9-5, maybe so, 9-5. The Texans, they suffered a tough situation of a tough loss last week, but
Mhm.
thanks to, we're brothers. I look after for my brother. I look after
Mhm.
my peoples and stuff. We do what we do.
Mhm.
You hear me? And next thing you know, it's a three-way tie for the AFC South lead with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Indianapolis Colts, and Houston Texans all 8-6. So now the pressure is going to be on these three teams. This is not going to be easy, but who do you have in this game, Jay Nelson?
Whoa, man. Um, Last week was just sweet karma, and then that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's what happens when you try to troll, and yeah, you lose the game. But oh man, in this one, I actually circled this game because out of our final stretch, it was going to be the toughest one. Don't get me wrong, the Colts, have been surging and everything. We have Tennessee at home next week. Uh, but this one right here, you got a Browns team that still thinks they can win the division because they're sitting at 9-5, and at 10-4 is Baltimore. So,
We're
or are they
11
ten
and
and three?
3.
Oh,
We're
11
11
and
and
three. I'm
3.
sorry, 11-3. Okay, it's
We win one more game. We have to win 2 more games for them to not get the division, or they
like
lose
a
one and we
division,
win one. If
and
we
we'll get
win
to
one
that
and
later.
they
And we get to that later, but you got the NFC number one seed, and you're traveling to their house. We'll get to that in a little bit. Um,
okay.
but this is a Browns team that still believes, and you can't blame them. Okay, need to remind everybody that they made it this far without Nick Chubb. If they had Nick Chubb, this is probably a 10-win team right now, maybe even 11. Who knows? But I'll say this much: I have to go with my squad. It's something about this team that just knows how to pull it off. It, just when you think like, oh, okay, well, they're down like, okay, well, no CJ Stroud, right? So they were supposed to lose last week. Well, they ended up winning. One thing about Case Keenum, and this is third stint in Houston, Keenum Keenum knows the offense. And the crazy part is it's been different offenses throughout the years. But Keenan is that veteran that can step in and lead in the absence of Stroud. You know, so with that being said, we have to play mistake-free ball, especially when it comes to that defense. I'm gonna pick, because I can't go against my team. I'm gonna pick the Texans in a close one. I'm gonna say Texans 26-24. It may come down to Kaimi Fairbairn once again from downtown at the buzzer.
And you know what? I was sadly mistaken for sitting there saying y'all lost that game because I lost my ticket because Tennessee didn't win that game. And I did not remember. That was my bad. But the Houston Texans defense isn't elite or it's great, but they play hard and they have grit. And there are certain things that are kind of a given in life. It is death, taxes, and Joe Flacco throwing interceptions. Okay? So trust and believe. There are going to be opportunities for Houston to get short fields potentially.
Yeah,
What is the only concern for me is that offense against that vaunted Cleveland Jim Schwartz led defense. You know, if CJ Stroud was playing, I would feel a lot more confident.
a
But
lot of
at the
people would.
same and at the same time, you have highlighted Case Keenum does know how to play, and he has been a successful quarterback in this game. He
Yes.
has been on successful teams, and hey, made an NFC title game as the Vikings quarterback with the Minnesota Miracle that happened in New Orleans. However, the Browns defense, led by their star at the front, is very, very daunting. They will put pressure on you. They can short shoot you in different gaps. So if you can not turn the football over and cause Joe Flacco to throw those interceptions, which I'm gonna take that prop, guys. FYI, remember that. Take that
Mm.
prop. Take that prop, baby. I took it the last 2 weeks, and I was like, Flacco interception, great. Let me take that. Boom! 3 of them joints came out. If if you can keep the whenever whoever wins the turnover battle, I think wins this game. In that regard, I'm going to take Houston in this one. I'll take Houston as the upset because I do think Joe Flacco is going to be the demise of the Cleveland Browns and himself.
Hmm. All right. You got it, partner.
Oh no, I fucked this one. I want to pass it to you, brother. Oh yeah, you definitely got this one. All right, go ahead, have fun.
All right, you get the next one. Oh boy,
What
the
a barn burner this
Commanders
is.
and the enigma that is the New York Jets. So the biggest news, of course, being Aaron Rodgers being 100% cleared, but he's not coming back this year. We know Ron Rivera's all but gone after the season. This is just a morale win. You know, whoever wins this one, Sam Howell versus Zach Wilson. I will say that this is the best that I'd seen Zach Wilson play this year. It probably isn't saying much. It's probably saying a lot. I'll leave that up to you viewers, you know. But we know what the Commanders are. The Commanders are horrible. It just is what it is. Who do you got? Jets are home 3-point faves.
I've got the Jets, but I've got the Commanders covering because I actually think this is going to be. Ugh, this is just a game for me. It is a morale win for sure. It's a win for you to try to figure out who do you want to keep on your next year roster.
Yeah.
Since changes are going to happen.
Mm. I will say with the Commanders, definitely keep Curtis Samuel. Definitely keep him.
Curtis Samuel, you might also want to keep Logan Thomas because that's a good blanket for Sam Howell if you're going to do that. Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin, I think they got some questions on you guys. I think they have some situations. But in regards to this game, I've got the Jets winning this game. Ooh, props? Bets? Ooh, I'm just gonna stay away from this one because I don't like it.
Mm,
Actually, no. I would take Garrett Wilson receiving yards because the secondary for Washington has been bad all season long.
they have.
So if there's a person that Zach Wilson needs to be able to get it with, it's the Wilson to Wilson connection. Paging Mr. Wilson. There you
Yeah.
go.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Um, Sam Howell getting sacked. Over under 4.
Ooh, the
I'm going
Jets.
over.
I was gonna say that I'm gonna go over because
I'm taking the over. Easy.
The Jets front,
Easy.
the Jets
Easy.
front is the Jets front's everything. Quentin Williams is still up in the front. They got the other Williams boy. They got some pieces on their side. They got some hitters.
Hmm. Yeah. And shout out to Big Ty in the comments. Sam Howell, most sack quarterback in the league. So there's that. All right, man. You got the next one. Pretty interesting showdown. How about this?
So we are going to talk about the lovely, amazing Seahawks against these Tennessee Titans. One team had a great victory. The other one had a horrible loss. So morale is different on both squads. One team, both teams are fighting for chances for being legitimate or feeling what they are and stuff. Seahawks have a harder road because of the teams that are ahead of them
Hmm.
and the teams that they have to deal with. But you have the Seahawks that are 3 point over under favorites to the
Both
Tennessee
faves.
Titans. Drew
Yep.
Lock, Geno Smith's out. Drew Lock versus Will Levis. We're talking former potentially good quarterback to an unknown who's looking like a decent or Bay okay type game managing quarterback. Jay, you taking
Mm.
that? You taking that cut? You taking that spread? Mm-hmm.
I actually am. I actually am. Um, they did beat the Eagles by 3. They're going up against a much worse Titan team. Titans are Titans are looking to potentially play spoiler to anybody who has a shot at the playoffs, and the Hawks are still in it. Believe it or not, they're still alive in the playoff race. So, but I'm gonna take the Hawks in this one. Uh, Drew Lock played the game of his life. I don't know if he can repeat that performance. But I'm taking prop bets on K9. I'm taking prop bets on him. I'm gonna say over under 2 touchdowns. I'm gonna say push. You know, I think the run. I think the running duo gets it done. I'm not expecting Locke to go for 300. He barely had 200 on Monday night. You know, but give me the Seahawks, 24-21.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna give the Seahawks two because I think the Seahawks are just a better team. I think they use their weapons a little bit better than Tennessee seems to do it with pretty much DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry. You mentioned K9, you got DK, you got Jackson Smith, you got Tyler Lockett, who's still a possession receiver, and the Seahawks I think just have been tough, more battle tested. And I think that they are seeing what's ahead of them, and they also see that they can still have a chance to win because the teams ahead of them have some matchups in themselves that could kind of slip them out and put them in. I will take the Seahawks to cover this one, no doubt.
All right. And so for the next one, this one here, I'm shocked at because you have the Colts who are alive in the division race at 8-6. They currently hold second. They are 1 point road dogs to the Falcons. Tyler Heineke is set to start against Minshew and the gang. Who do you have?
Hmm. Hmm. Ah. Who's starting quarterback for the Falcons?
Tyler Heineken. Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke versus Gardner Minshew. Oh, now that makes sense as to why he might have been a little bit favored because Taylor plays a little bit better than good old Desmond Ritter for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But with that said, I will take the Colts to win this game because I think the Colts see where they are. This is not just about winning a team to get a record. This is about keeping pace to have a chance to win a division and get a home playoff game, which is well within the grasp of these Indianapolis Colts. So I will take them to cover against the Falcons. With that said, I will also sit there and take Michael Pittman's reception yards against these Atlanta Falcons. I would take the passing yards of Gardner Minshew against these Atlanta Falcons because while they may have played a decently better, they're still not a good they're still not a good passing or not a good defense overall. So I've got, the Colts winning this game. How about you?
Oh man. As much as the a Colts loss would help us out, I'm taking Indy. I just don't trust the Falcons, man. I just don't. You know. And the crazy part is, this is not even B Rob. It's just their coaching. They got too many questions at quarterback, and Arthur Smith is all but gone after this year. Speaking of coaches on the hot seat, he's all but gone after this year as well. This is going to be the time period where Arthur Blank is going to have to do some real soul searching if he wants his Falcons, decent again. The crazy part is with a few slip ups by the other two teams, the Falcons could still win their division.
Ain't
Who
that
knows?
something? Ain't
Yeah,
that
I
something?
know. Strange times. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Colts in this one. It's just too many negatives over there on the Falcon side, and the Colts are pseudo hot. Aside from the loss to Cincy, they've been on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Colts. And all right, you got the next one.
All right. So we are going to sit there and talk about Tyler's in the comments. The Green Bay Packers against the Carolina Panthers. Yes, they are the Carolina Panthers, but they picked up a victory, I believe, this
Yeah,
past week.
guess who was it against?
The one we just talked about.
Eh,
Now, with this Packers team, they suffered a tough loss. They suffered a loss that probably was hurting their playoff chances more than helping. So this is kind of a game that they want to bounce back because at the same time, they still have to try to keep pace with the teams in front of them. Who do you have? I mean, let me ask you this better question. I think we may are in agreement that it's the Panthers going to lose this game, right? Are you taking the spread?
no. No, I'm not. I'm not touching that one. The Packers. they they had a disappointing loss because the Packers, they're in the playoff race as well. They had a disappointing loss last week. Baker Mayfield just went in there and just set the entire building on fire. Um, but this is their get back game. This is their let's get back on the path to the playoffs type game. So with that being said, yes, you have to beat a team like the Panthers. You just do. Okay. Um, so with that being said, I'm gonna take the Packers. I'm gonna take the Pack because see I don't trust the Panthers to put up too many points, you know. So I'm gonna take the Packers 27-7. Jordan
Hmm.
Love has a monster game and then move on from there.
Okay. 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 I like that. Now, I'm going to take the Packers too. I'm not going to take them to cover just because of what you said. It's just this, the Panthers are, you just never know. And I just feel like the Packers sometimes let teams stay in the game when they could really knock them out. And so I think that's going to happen this time. What I will say is I will take Jordan Love's passing yards over in this game.
Okay.
I will also take Bryce Young's under in his passing yards in this game. I will also take, if there's a sack total for like Rashawn Gary or any of the Packers' top edge rushers, I will take that as well. And I was actually going to go lead to Aaron Jones as well. I think Aaron Jones is going to be a factor and have a good game against this, inept and unfortunately bad Carolina team.
Yep.
Take it away from me with this next one.
So the Lions are 3.5 point road faves at Vikings. So Golf and company are going to travel to Minnesota. And it said I said in this in the subtitle, seeking to build on division lead. Officially, a Lions win and they win the North. Yes, a Lions win and they win the NFC North. I think they're going to be triply motivated to make a little history in this ball game. The Vikings, another team with too many questions at quarterback. I think Nick Mullins is going to get the. Now I will say this much: Nick Mullins actually hung in there last week. He hung in there last week and almost came out of Ohio with the win. You know, but this is a much more dangerous Lions team. It just is. It just is. It's too much offense. You know. Um,
Not Golfins.
Golfins, yeah. I'm gonna take the Lions in this one. Lions 31 Lions 31-17. Who you got?
Hmm. Ah. If the Lions are the team I think they are, they should win this game. And that's where I'm going to leave it. And that's what I think they should do because I think they're the better team. You're not going to you're going to I'll tell you what. You're going to have more questions and more doubt in you if you let Nick Mullins come in here and beat you or even make it close to actually have to beat you. This is a game. You want to be a team to be regarded like the Panther, the 49ers, the Eagles, the Ravens of the world, the Dolphins, those teams. You need to blow these teams out. You need to
You have
blow
to.
out a team. This
You
is
have to.
not no slim mic it through. Blow them out. You're a better
Mhm.
team. You're better top to bottom at every single level. You're better in every single part of your offense, defense. Defense play better for the Minnesota Vikings, but the best way to counter a Brian Flores type situation is to run the football so you can set up that play action and you have the tools to do that. The Lions should destroy this team. I will take that over on that spread. I will take over on David Montgomery or Jameer Gibbs, whichever one is going to be starting, because I think David's been up and down and nicked a little bit. Their fantasy score. I would also take, I need him to get a sack. Aiden Hutchinson, I'll take you to get a sack. But I also take pass attempts for Nick Mullins because I think they're going to be passing the ball all throughout this game. And so
Yeah,
the
he's
way
definitely
with
gonna be
that,
looking Jordan Addison's way.
yeah. So I'm gonna take the Lions to win this game. Dom, don't let us down.
I know, right? And all right, next one.
Next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sorry, you guys, if you see me look up and down, if you know anything about what's about to happen in the next 10 minutes, you understand what I'm doing. But next, let's talk about it. We talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks had a great win against the aforementioned Packers we were just talking about, and the Jags suffered a loss at albeit a very, very talented Baltimore Ravens squad. Now, we have division leaders, I believe, against each other with this one, and both of them want to win because they need to stop others from catching up to them. So there's a lot to play for with both of these. But I do ask you that question, Jay. Who do you have? And answer the question at the bottom. Are the Jaguars in trouble?
Oh man, if they are definitely in trouble with the loss because then if the Texans and the Colts win, they fall behind us two teams. Um, I think the only reason why we're seeing the Bucks as a 1 point home fave is because Trevor Lawrence is currently in concussion protocol. Now, if it gets toward game time and he's good to go, that line might change. That might change to Jaguars by 3, maybe even 4. Okay, he just makes that much of a difference. That's the only reason why I'm showing Bucks as a 1 point a home fave currently. With that being said, as much as a Jags loss would help us, I'm, you know what?
You gonna
Who?
do it? You gonna do it?
Hmm.
You want to? You want
You know
to?
what? Even if T Law plays, I'm taking the Bucks. I'm taking the Bucks. I just do. I'm taking the Bucks. The Bucks are motivated to win their own division as well. And I know that's a sorry division, but it's still their division, and someone has to win it. You know, Mayfield's going to be feeling himself after last week's performance, and all the Bucks have to do is just make enough stops to win. Surprisingly, I got this high scoring. I'm going to say 35-31 Buccaneers.
I like. I like.
Hmm.
Ah. Mm, it's
Come on
tough.
now. Who you
It's
got?
tough. It's tough. I think I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars here.
Hmm.
I think Jacksonville, because in my opinion, they are the top to bottom roster wise the better team. But it's going to be you got some questions with them still. I do think you have some questions with them because they have had issues replacing Christian Kirk. They have had issues replacing his production. Now they don't. The usage of Travis Etienne is down from what it was last year, which helped them build up that steam and streak to get to the playoffs and take that against the Chargers. But this year just hasn't been the same. But they still, in my opinion, roster wise at positions that are everything you need better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so I think they should win this game. Doesn't matter if they're home or away because they're both a home game. They're only 2 hours away from each other, or two and a half, 3 hours away from each other.
Yeah.
So it's a home game for both teams. But I got the Jacksonville Jaguars winning this game. I got them covering. I will say I like Evan Ingram receptions in this game. Typically, Tampa Bay likes to want to keep make quick decisions with the blitzing of Todd Bowles. He is the coach, right? Make sure.
Yeah. Yes, Todd Bowles.
Okay, just want to make sure I didn't forget. I think that with that, you want to hit to your outlets as fast as possible. Evan Ingram is kind of his stretch four tight end slash wide receiver go to person, or is Zay Jones reception too because he's another favorite target of his. But
Hey,
that's
you
what I
also
got.
might want to take ETN receptions too because Todd Bowles likes to blitz, and that jailbreak screen to Travis ETN might do numbers.
Good point. Nice going with that. So y'all remember that nugget that Jay Nelson, who don't really bet, decides to drop on you. When he drops it, he drops it. So that's what I got. So, who we have next? Ooh, that's such a different game. Oh
Yeah,
my
I'll
god.
take it. I'll take this one. Cardinals at Bears. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the Chicago Bears, as bad of a season as they've had, they are not mathematically eliminated yet. With one, two, three games to play after this weekend, they're not mathematically eliminated yet. So, well, I guess props to them for hanging in there. I guess. Bajan's had his moments. Fields has had his moments. They almost beat the Browns last week, but one got to think a quarterback threw 3 interceptions. I know if Fields throws 3 interceptions, typically he loses. Flacco threw 3 and he won because they were playing the Bears, of course. You know, um, but you're going up against a down Cardinals team, slumping Cardinals, just like I said at the bottom. So the Bears have to win this game, and I'm gonna say because at the end of the day, the Cardinals still have Kyler Murray, so they got to put up some points. They still have Rondell Moore, they still got James Conner. But I'm gonna take the Bears. I think. Let's see. Over under 75 yards for Fields. I'm gonna take the over for 75 for rushing yards. I'm gonna take the over 75 rushing yards for Fields. I say
Mm.
the Bears take this one 24-14. Who you got?
I'm gonna take the Bears too because I think the Cardinals are down and out. But despite how their season is, I actually think the Bears are exactly as horrible as they are. I think they just have. They're still that team that's like an average or mediocre team, but has potential to be a little bit better. They need
Of
offensive
course.
line. They need weapons with them. But in terms of this team against the Cardinals, I think they already given up on their season. They've given up. They're done. So I think that they're going to lose this game. I don't think they're going to see this team as a team that has a chance to make the playoffs. So they're not going to be too strong about it. But I will sit there and go with the Bears. I will go with the Bears, and I will go with the Bears receiving yards for the tight end Cole Kmet. I will go for the passing yards for Justin Fields,
Hmm.
and I will go with the fantasy score for the lead running back with this team because the running back are tend to get off against the Arizona Cardinals. Perfect experience of what just happened with C-Mac. Even though C-Mac, in my opinion, and I just put this down, is my guy that's going to win MVP. But that's just
Okay.
between me and that person. But that's what I got. I got the Bears covering on this one.
All right. And so next game, you got it.
Ah, boy. One of the premier matchups of this weekend, we
X
have
Factor.
the.
Let's hear you in the comments, man.
There you
You're in
go.
Miami.
There you go, X Factor. Come on in, man. You have the Dallas Cowboys that suffered a very devastating loss, a tough one to the Buffalo Bills. However, that is a Buffalo Bills team that is not your traditional sub, just above 500 type team. You've got the Miami Dolphins who see what's coming. Now, what's interesting about this is they're playing this game, but are they going to be watching what happens with San Francisco and Baltimore? Are they going to be trying to pay attention to see what happens with that team and to make sure? Because if Baltimore loses, is are they going to be focused on what they need to focus on and just win the game? I think we're going to see what this Dallas Cowboys team is made of because I think last week was just a tough call, a tough game against a team that needed to win and a team that by anyone's standards, if you saw their record, you would think that okay, they're better than what this really is. That's what they kind of remind the Buffalo Bills are. But Jay, who do you got? You have the Dolphins winning this one. Are you taking that spread? Or are you taking the Cowboys to lose but also cover?
Oh man, this one right here was tough. I did some thinking about this one. Um, that offense. You've heard me say it all year. That Olympic track team disguised as a football team, right? They just came out of destroying and dismantling destroying. Is that even a word? What they did to the Jets was criminal. They put up 17 points before the Jets even had a positive yard. Even before they even had a positive yard, it was 17-0, and the Jets were at -1 total offensive yards. That is insane. You know, I mean, that's a game that I expected the Dolphins to run, but I was like, wow, whoa, not that bad. I mean, Jesus, you know what I mean? And then you got Dallas, and what happened to them against the Bills? You know, whew. As much as I want to pick Miami, the Dallas Cowboys are the most unpredictable team in the NFL. And this has a Cowboys victory written all over it for some reason. They lead the NFC East. I'm so sorry, Bacon. I'm sorry. I want to pick Miami. I really, really, really do. But I think with the Cowboys and what they saw on Monday night, they're like, whoa, we're still in the division lead. Thank you, Drew Lock. You know? And they're going to be motivated down this stretch of the season to maintain that lead. Now the Cowboys have a tough two because they are at Dolphins and then they're home for Detroit. You know, but yeah, this may come down to a Dak Prescott game-winning drive. I'm going to take Cowboys 34-27.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, you know what's funny about this Dallas Cowboys team? They're very talented. They are a talented team. Dak isn't the same Dak that it was in the times past. He had a typically bad game, but they all had a bad game. And if you want to sit there and talk about it, the defense didn't even decide to show up against the Buffalo Bills. The defense just said, you know what? We're going to channel that playoff game against the Los Angeles Rams. And we're going to let this happen all over again. Run down our throats so we can lose this game and then not have to sit there and have Dak look bad. No, y'all look bad, but that's not indicative of what the Dallas Cowboys team has been all season. And I think seeing Philadelphia did lose, it's like, hey, We got our reprieve. We got our reprieve. Let's make the most of it. And Dallas has a formula that can combat the Miami Dolphins. High scoring, high flying. You have issues with Tyreek Hill is a little nicked up. He won't know what's going to happen with him. And I think this is going to be a better team to face than the New York Jets because while the New York Jets has a good defense, that defense pretty much just quit on the season too. They're like, F it, we're done. It's no point. Dallas is not going to do that. And I think Dallas's guys are going to have out to prove that they're going to be better. So I think I'm going to say that Dallas is going to win this game.
Hmm.
I have to go back. I have to see the cover again, the spread or whatever, because I'm
Oh,
not
I'm sorry.
sure.
Hang on a second.
Actually, I didn't remember it's like 1.5. I think it's
Yeah,
1.5.
Dolphins are 1.5 point faves.
I've got Dolphins to cover. I got the Cowboys to cover. I will say if I'm looking props wise, I'm looking at CD Lamb's fantasy score or his receiving touchdowns. And I'm also looking at Tua Tagliavoa's passing completions as well as a sack for Micah Parsons on the Cowboys side. So I got the Cowboys winning this game.
All right. All right. And next game.
What we got coming up next? This is going to be interesting. We have the Sunday Night Football NFL Network combination. Oh, there was a Sunday Night Football game. Patriots at Broncos. You take it away on this one. Like what? What we? I didn't even. That's a high spread. Good God.
Yeah, absolutely. Patriots at Broncos. Easy. The Broncos got destroyed last week and they need a bounce back game. And lo and behold, the football gods gave them the Patriots. Okay? This is a Christmas feast. Whether you want to call the Patriots the turkey or the ham or the pot of chitlins, whatever it is you eat on Christmas. Okay? All I know is the Broncos are going to be feasting because speaking of teams with questions at quarterback, you got New England. Now they still have that defense, and surprisingly, it's because of the Patriots defense why I have it close. I got the Broncos winning. I'm taking the Patriots to cover. I got a 6 point victory. I'm gonna say Broncos 26-20. Go ahead, JJ.
I got Broncos, but I got Patriots covering because I think there's still some. The Broncos aren't the dominant team, even though they should. And Bill Belichick's game plan is to take away your best weapon, and your best weapon is clearly Cortland Sutton right now. And Jerry Judy is just hasn't performed to the expectations of what you were thinking he was going to do. It's not been a match made, but they're going to win this game. But I have the Patriots to cover this spread. If I'm looking at anything, I'm looking at over on targets for Cortland Sutton. I'm looking at nothing else. Yeah, no, nothing
Okay.
else.
All right. So next one, you got
Things
it.
done.
Another double
Ooh,
digit line.
Raiders at Chiefs. Okay. I'm not exactly sure why this is a double digit line in favor of the Chiefs. I thought it would be maybe a 6 or a
I was gonna say
7.
maybe 8. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a double digit. So I'm gonna tell you off the back. I'm gonna take the Raiders to cover. But you have the Raiders too who are coming in trying to play spoiler. Not they would love nothing better because these AFC West rivalries are for real. They love nothing better than to make the Chiefs look worse and worse and try to go down the rankings in terms of where they stand in the seedings of the playoffs. The Chiefs, they have a chance at an outside shot at a 1 seed if certain things fall to happen and the way the schedule sets up for certain teams, it looks like it is. So they still have a lot to play for. If anything, they still can play for a first round bye. I mean, not first round bye, a home playoff game for the possibly for at least 1 or 2 games. But I ask you, Jay, Raiders or Chiefs, or if you're
Uh,
taking the Chiefs, cover or no?
I'm taking the Chiefs. Raiders not covering. Not at the end of the day, it's Raiders at Chiefs at Arrowhead. I know it's an AFC West rivalry game, the eternal rivalry between the Raiders and the Chiefs. But Mahomes typically murders the the Raiders. So. With that being said, and I mean, if Isaiah Pacheco is good to go this weekend, great. If not, you still got McKinnon, you still got CEH. Kelsey is still Kelsey. Um, Kadarius Tony's still a dumbass. And I'm sure someone else on that offense can catch the ball. In fact, Mahomes just probably just needs to hit his tight end and running backs because I don't trust the actual wide receivers to do anything in this ball game. But you're playing a Raiders, so it's not like you need them. I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one. Give me Chiefs 27-10.
Ah, okay. So you are taking them to cover this
Well,
spread.
yeah, my bad. Yeah, I'm taking them to cover.
I think I'll take it. I'll take it too. I'll take them to cover. I don't like it, but you know what? This is going to be my high risk of high reward type situation. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be that way. I don't trust the Chiefs wide receivers at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust them. I trust the running backs, and I trust Travis Kelsey. And if you can
Exactly.
continue to rely on them and have your defense step up and get their top 10 right now, if you show up like the way you should win this game pretty well. So I have the Chiefs winning, and I actually have the Chiefs covering.
All right. And now for the next game. You got it.
Wait, what? Wait, what? You want to handle? Oh, gosh. Okay.
Because I'm going to get the next one and I'm going to pass it to you, and I know we're in for it. So, but hey, double digit line, Bacon Grizz, sound the hell off in the comments because
Do
you
your
said
thing.
wait till we get to this game. Bake, this is on you. I need to read what you got. We'll put it on the screen and
You know
everything.
it. We
But
talking. You talking Shanae? Say it's on you. So what you going to do? Hey, run it, run it, run it, run it.
yeah, you already know, man. Now,
Hashtag 90s sitcom, baby. You know it.
yeah. So I know that if our brother James was here, he will be attending the game actually.
He gonna say they're
Um,
the worst team right now. They shouldn't be in the playoffs. They deserve to lose. I think he said in the text that we gonna lose. They gonna lose to the Giants.
he said in the text, he said that the Giants will beat us on Christmas. He said it.
Oh,
He
okay.
said in the text, he said the Giants will beat us on Christmas. So with that being said, oh man, they're the Giants though. I mean, now
Right.
if it's any semblance of a Christmas miracle, it might be a close game. You might get Tommy DeVito keeping it close, surprisingly, but no, I'm just gonna take. I gotta take the Eagles in this one. I have to. They've just been destroying the Giants for I don't know how long now. Even James says it's no longer a rivalry. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll take the Eagles, and I
Now I
like
will
that.
go. You like this? You go ahead.
Yeah,
What you
yeah.
saying?
I like the spread too. Go ahead, man.
Now, Eagles fans are a little emotional. They are. They are the type of tendency to the worst case scenario type situation. Rome, skies falling, everything. They kind of tend to go a little bit there, as Bacon is doing, James has doing. I don't. It's interesting. Then you got all these reports coming out. AJ Brown debunked it. Philly fans, please calm down. Please just relax. It's okay. Like Jay said, it's the Giants.
It's the
It's the
Giants,
Giants.
y'all. It's
It's
the
the
Giants.
Giants. You'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. X Factor. He is gonna be there. He is gonna be there on Christmas Day at that game. And then Bacon, hey, check this out. How you like this for an over under? Bacon Grizz says Tommy DeVito 4 touchdown passes.
Bacon, calm down. Just calm down. Just relax,
He
man.
losing his mind in the comments right now.
Just relax, man.
Now
It's
here's my
gonna
boy
be
Debo. Here's my
okay.
boy Devon Curry. He says he's an Eagles fan. He said you about to see a new team against the Giants 100. So there's somebody still sticking by his sticking by his team. I mean, you know what? Like, I mean, come on now. Like, look at the Texans. Like, okay, we lost to Bryce Young. All right. But then guess what? I'll tell you what, like, we lost to Bryce Young, and then look at the Texans now. They continue to, win, right? And we're 8-6, and we're kind of in the thick of things, right? And then you look at the 49ers. Did they not lose 3 straight? And then they bounced back. So we can't say that it's not possible. You know what I mean? People have long forgotten that the 49ers lost three straight. Same thing. They was calling them frauds. Everything y'all calling the Eagles now and everything, you know? So
Breathe. Just breathe.
yeah.
The playoffs is not over. Yeah. Why y'all gotta be so emotional? Like, why? Lord, why? Everybody has fanatics, but y'all be taking it to the next level.
Mm. So
My God.
So yeah, you're going with the Eagles. All right. Well, I'm going to bring this topic in. We are at our main event, and that is Monday Night Football. Ravens at 49ers. I'm sorry, they are at California. So both teams seek to keep their conference number one seeding in this primetime heavyweight fight and probable Super Bowl matchup. JJ, tell us why you got the Ravens to win.
Number one, I kind of think that spread is a little disrespectful. I kind of think it's a little disrespectful because I think that speaks to what they think with the Ravens and how they're not putting up the gaudy numbers in terms of like Brock Purdy's 4 touchdowns, 3 things. But the one thing that these two teams are, they're the very exact same team. The Ravens will win this game because I think there's a certain element of escapability that allows Lamar to make plays that you really don't see on a day-to-day basis against the teams that you make. Trust and believe. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough matchup. The Ravens, have you seen all season, are used to being ahead. They're not going to have that same situation. But we're going to require some special moves to be made from Lamar Jackson. At the same time, the biggest concern that the Ravens have is their run defense, and you're going against the best offensive player of the year this year and possible MVP, in my opinion, and Christian McCaffrey. Containing him and making Brock have to beat you with his arm, no matter how good those weapons are, I think is the key to winning this game. Because if you don't stop Christian McCaffrey, everyone else is going to be much easier to get off. That boy, Christian McCaffrey, opens up the game. However, Ravens do not fear anyone. They love facing teams that everybody thinks are going to crush them. They love facing people thinking that they can't win something, which is what they've been doing all season long. Shout out to my baby Joy Taylor, who when her own show, when they were sitting there talking about are the Buffalo Bills the most dangerous team, she said, when are we going to give Baltimore Ravens their respect? One thing
Exactly.
we appreciate you in that, but trust and believe, we're going to have to just keep doing what we do. And I think it's going to come down to who makes that crucial big play in that third or fourth quarter. And I think the Ravens are going to do it because I think the Ravens want to lock up the division as soon as possible. And I think they're going to show people that, hey, we deserve to be here. We deserve to be a talked about defense. We deserve to be the talked about team. We know we're not putting up 35 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, but you keep winning. You could win in different ways. If you want to stop Lamar, you got to worry about the run game. It all depends on this defense. And if this defense believes in being an elite level defense like their record numbers say and what they think they are, this is the perfect game to prove it. I've been waiting for this game for so long. I've been circling this on my calendar because anytime we play the 49ers, our teams are always in high wins. We played the Harbaugh years, we beat them. The year of Lamar's MVP year when the 49ers came, they both were top 10 teams for that year. They both were top 5 teams in their divisions, in their conferences, and they won. I got the Ravens covering, and I got the Ravens winning. In terms of who I like, I actually like Isaiah Likely to get his receiving yards if they're between 33 and 35, like they have been. But I also do like, because I don't trust it, I do like Christian McCaffrey's rushing and receiving touchdown because I know they're going to get down there. And it's just a matter of can you stop him? And I think he's going to get one or two. What you got? You be honest with what you really feel.
Man, this one here is a hard pick. You know, you got two surging teams and everything. I'll be quick because we're about a minute out from going off the air. But this game has walk-off field goal written all over it. And if I had to pick the kicker, it's going to be Justin Hook'em Horns Tucker. Give me
Ooh,
Ravens 30-27. Everything you just said, I believe, will come alive in this game. I think, but believe it or not, no disrespect to your defense, but he's just that guy. I think McCaffrey is going to have a monster game, but it won't be enough. I think it's going to come down to a mistake on the offense. Someone's going to fumble. Purdy's going to throw a pick in overtime, and then the Ravens are just going to run it down their throats until they get Tucker in range. So yeah, give me the Ravens in this one, 30-27. But do not be surprised if you see these two teams playing the second week of February.
That is the goal, and that it would be a perfect deal because it'll be a rematch. And I know San Francisco has been dying to get a rematch with us in that game. But once more, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for coming with us every week. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Without you guys, we feel so much thankful. Jay, as always, thank you for coming in with us. This has been fun. We've been having like a conversation. I like our personalities matching in. You
Mm-hmm.
guys know where to find us. I'm going to let Jay get the floor after I finish. You can follow me on Facebook. You know where I am. Same name right there, JJ Jenkins. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I have to remember which one it is, how it is. I think it's Joe Jenkins 07, but JOE, not JO for Twitter. I mean, for Instagram and Twitter, I think it's JOG. I don't know. But if you hit me up on Facebook, I guide you. Jay, you go ahead.
All right, and then of course, be sure to follow James Tatum on YouTube. Also follow my YouTube, Denzel Snipes 13. Follow my Twitch, Denzel Sniper 13. My Facebook, Denzel Snipes. And right before we get off the air, and thank you to everybody in the comments as usual. Shout out to our boys, Cowboy X Factor, Bacon Grizz. Pastor Tyler Ingram, of course, my boy Devon Curry. Holla at Devon Curry. He's been making some moves lately. And uh, so one thing that I do want to touch on before I get off the air is, as of late, shout out to my boys Marshall Hill and Craig Davis. We on a non-sports type of deal. We came up with a concept for a group that will eventually turn into a podcast, and it's called Our Brother's Keeper. And what it focuses on is on men's health, men's physical health, spiritual health, financial health. You name it. It's just a space for men, a safe space for men. Because us guys, we go through so much day by day. We fight battles internally and externally, and we're putting suicide awareness out there and everything. And we just started a group yesterday. Go find it. Unconventional Kings presents Our Brother's Keeper. If you find me on Facebook at Denzel Snipes and request me, I'll be more than happy to add you to the group. We're going to get rolling in there pretty soon. JJ Jenkins is a member of the group. He works at a bank for a living. So he pretty much is going to be the financial advisor. So anything financial coming up in there as a topic, you can holler at him and everything. But it's really great, a safe space for men and just looking out for our fellow brothers and everything. So please, find me. Like I said, you find me on Facebook, Denzel Snipes, and I'll add you to the group, okay? But for JJ Jenkins, I'm Denzel the Sniper. This has been Picked Off, and we will see you all on Friday for the Gauntlet.
Love you
Take care.
guys. See y'all later.